I will say I did see his reaction to my last fight, and that definitely was one of the ones that made me be a fan of him because he was fully invested, and I respect that and I appreciate that. So yeah, shout out Kenny.
A fan, they say. Well, you're gonna like this reaction better when you get this brutal knockout of Imavov. UFC Saudi Arabia Adesanya versus Imavov is this week, bro. We're in fight week, man. Oh my goodness, I'm get to see another Adesanya fight, brother. You know, brother, you like or you don't like this whole week, you're gonna see some Glaze videos. So I ain't gonna say Glaze, bro, and I ain't gonna say pause afterwards, cause like what Adesanya says, brother, I'm gonna leave you bad, man. I do what I want, bro. Ain't no pause on that. I can admire man's work. All right, jokes aside, man, for real. Yeah, UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia. We're gonna get into it, bro. We're gonna go full card predictions. I'll be real. This card's pretty stacked. Arguably card of the year. There's some fights that fell out that pissed me off. Oh, I'm sorry. The Akram fight, that can't be asked. But I still think this is the best card of the year so far. And unironically, and it's a fight night. You know, 312's no better. I think 311 was gonna be really good until Armin said, "My back hurts, bro. Please, can I go rest?" But yeah, card of the year. So let's get into it. From the very first fight of the night that I don't care too much about. No offense to two of these guys, but Jamal Poges, bro, I think he put the beats on Thomas Petersen, which surprised me. He has good hands. Like he's built like a he's not the chubby. You know what I'm saying? There's some like chubby kind of plobby heavyweights. He's not one of them. He like has like that solid build. Like he's like that solid refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? And he has good hands. I think his striking's pretty good. I think he knows how to let his hands go. He's going against someone I've never really heard of, named Hamdi Abdelwahab. I hope I said the last name right. He's 5-0, never lost. However, I don't know too much about him, but I know if he's going to try to strike with Jamal Poges, it's going to be a problem for him. Based on the last name, do I dare say he's going to be a wrestler? But I don't think so. But just because heavyweights don't really do that. They don't really wrestle. He averages, 3 takedowns. 3 takedowns in a 15-minute fight. Okay, interesting. Jamal has 2.4, which is interesting because I feel like Jamal Poges prefers to like stand and kind of trade. But interesting fight. I feel like Hamdi's gonna have to mix it up. 5-0, like he hasn't lost yet, so that must mean something. But like I said, I'm not too confident in this pick. I do want to go 100% on this card, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys when I say I'm not confident in a pick because I don't know too much about Hamdi compared to how much I know about Jamal Poges. But I do know Jamal, like he has heart, and you're gonna have to try to outwork him to beat him. And I don't know if Hamdi could do that. 5-0 against who? 5-0 against who? You know, that's an Adesanya line, man. I don't know who you're 5-0 against. But I know some notable wins for Jamal, so I'm gonna actually go Jamal Poges. I don't know if he's the underdog. The odds I don't think are even here. Yeah, not available. So I'm gonna go Jamal Poges, man. I'm gonna go with the trusty heavyweight club and puncher, dude. He's tough, and if you can't figure out Jamal Poges, he's gonna just continue to pass you as the rounds go along. I feel like if I'm Hamdi, I'm gonna have to wrestle. But like I said, I'm just going off what I know, and what I know is Jamal Poges is a pretty dangerous heavyweight. So yeah, I got Jamal Poges beating Hamdi. Next fight, moving on. Another fight I don't know too much about. However, I will say Grad. I did see him on the Contender Series. He hasn't really done anything spectacular. He's not someone who stands out to me. Like I've seen Lucas Alexander go against decent competition. This Bogdan guy hasn't won against anyone. He's already losing. You know what I'm saying? In the Contender Series. I think he got finished in Contender Series. He's making his UFC debut, and I just don't think that would be enough, bro. He looks like I don't know. He looks like a Ratatouille dog. He's not gonna go in there against Alexander and beat him. I think Alexander's gonna win this pretty comfortably. Don't let the records confuse you. He's coming off a loss, but the loss doesn't really define him. He looks fine. I think Lucas Alexander has like a pretty complete two set for him to be able to beat Grad. But yeah, these first two fights a little lackluster for me. But don't worry, the card starts to heat up, especially when it gets to the main card. But for now, we're gonna have to bear with some of these harder watches, but I do the Lucas Alexander. I got him winning this fight for sure. Next fight, this fight for me, listen, I don't really care too much about women's fights, but it's interesting to me. All right, Jasmine Jasudavicius. I can never say her name, but she's in like damn near every. If there's ever a card in Canada, she's always there. I know she loves her home country. She's also scrappy. Now Mario Bueno Silva, her last fight against Macy, she was doing really good until she got that cut on the second round and it stopped the fight, but she was looking pretty good. And then she looked really bad against Raquel Pennington when she fought for the title because she kind of gassed in a 5-rounder, but this is going to be a 3-rounder, of course. Jasmine's going to be game, but Bueno Silva, if she can get back to who she really is, because I think she's really talented. I can't lie. Her grappling is pretty good. I think she has what it takes to control Jasmine. I do think she's going to have the physical strength advantage over Jasmine as well. So we'll see what she can do if she gets the fight to the ground. Why is it saying she averages 0.64 takedowns? That does not make sense. What? She has great submission game. So does she not shoot a lot? How does she usually get her fights to the ground? Hold on, I gotta see something. Yeah, she's getting all these submission victories, but she's actually not shooting takedowns to get them. This is so weird. Okay, interesting. That's a weird thing. I never realized. Like, she averages 0.64 takedowns, but she gets submissions. I guess her opponents try to mix it up, or maybe it's a scramble. I don't know. That's interesting. I never realized she doesn't shoot a lot. She just gets submissions. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's gonna have to wrestle against Jasmine because I do think Jasmine's not as physically strong as her. I do think Mario Bueno Silva could be more imposing in the clinch situations. But Jasmine's gonna come to scrap and throw hands, and if she could stick to that game plan and keep it on the feet primarily, I could see her outworking Bueno Silva. But like I said, Bueno Silva is really good when she's in her element and just coming forward. So she gotta just believe, she gotta trust herself. She gotta like shake off the Macy loss. Macy was a tough fight for her. That girl's fucking huge. She's long as hell. But Jasmine's not that tall compared to her. Like they're gonna be around the same height. So yeah, I am gonna go Mario Bueno Silva. I don't know the odds for this one. Yeah, not even available. But yeah, I am gonna go Mario Bueno Silva. All right, this fight I like it a lot. Fair Ziam, who looked really good against Matt Favola in his last fight, bro. Get that knockout on him. And then Mike Davis, Beast Boy, he looks really good too. They're both riding some good momentum. This is actually gonna be like a good one, man. Man, Beast Boy versus Smile Killer. I like Fair Ziam, bro. His trips and like his takedowns are good when he needs to. I've also seen times he gets controlled though and taken down, you know. And Mike Davis could wrestle. Mike Davis could strike. He's a scrapper. You know, it's going to be interesting. I want to see if Fair's Ziam can use his length well in this fight and try to keep Mike Davis at bay using his longer extremities. They're around the same height. It has Mike Davis at 6 feet, Ziam at 6'1". So they're not too different in height, but I feel like Fair's fights with his range more than Mike Davis does. Mike Davis is kind of just down to scrap. So it's going to be an interesting day. As far as the grappling is concerned, I do favor Ziam in the grappling. But Mike Davis is good at scrambling, so it's going to be interesting. I want to see how that goes. But yeah, I want to see Ziam. If I'm Ziam, I keep calling him Ziam or Ziam. If I'm Fairs, I'm going to try to mix in trips while keeping it standing. Just to kind of throw Mike Davis off his game. But Mike Davis is going to come aggressively. He's going to try to take the win. This is a 50-50 fight. But I think I'm gonna lean Fair Ziam. Maybe it's because like I like when he gets his momentum going. He almost looks like damn near unbeatable. Like what he did to Favola should be illegal. That guy he put him up bad, bro. The odds are he is a slight underdog, so I actually like this for underdog pick for Ziam. But yeah, I am probably gonna go Ziam over Mike Davis. Beast Boy's gonna be game, so I wouldn't be surprised if he could make it ugly and scrape a decision. But I am gonna go Ziam overall. So that's my pick for that. Now this fight, man. Both fighters not really do great. They don't really, no one does great here. But Terrence McKinney is so off and on. He's like Michael Johnson maxing at his young age. It's like he goes in there, either gets knocked out badly or has a spectacular knockout himself. And then Damir Hadzovic, he has not really shown anything good either. He's not like talent, like he's not abnormally talented. But he's the perfect fight for Terrence McKinney. Now, Terrence McKinney, I've noticed, if he goes against anyone who's decent, like a Ribovics, you know what I'm saying, he's going to get finished. But if he goes against like someone like Damir Hadzovic, he does good and he gets the finish. So this is trying to I feel like this is trying to figure out, the UFC is trying to see where Terrence McKinney is. See if he can actually lose to someone who's not that great. Everyone Terrence McKinney lost to kind of ended up having a good little run afterwards for the most part. So, you know, I can't fault McKinney too much, you know, but I feel like if McKinney should win a fight, it should be this one. But he just kind of fights irresponsible a little bit. Like he's a little bit he fights he's immature, dog. I don't know, man. I don't like the way he fights sometimes. But like I said, if he should be someone, it should be this guy. This should get him back in the win column. I feel like the UFC is trying to do him a solid by doing this. So I am gonna go Terrence McKinney. Hopefully he finally snaps out of it. But brother, this guy, I don't like the way he fights, bro. He fights a little bit too sporadic for me. He needs to settle down into his punches and then make it happen. And I think he could beat Damir. If I don't know, is Damir going to go on? Okay, Damir actually averages less takedowns than Terrence McKinney. So that makes me favor McKinney even more because I feel like if McKinney is the one who can mix it up better, it's going to favor him. Hopefully McKinney doesn't gas because I'm pretty sure he doesn't really have the gas to go 3 rounds because he's always getting finished in the first or getting the finish in the first. So it's one of those things, but I am going to go McKinney for this official pick. So yeah, McKinney probably by finish. Now this fight's interesting. Bolaji Okij coming off a loss where I believe he got submitted, and then Abdul Karim Al-Selwady. I don't know too much about the dude, I'll be real. And based off that though, the way Oki looked good before he got not good, he looked okay before he got submitted. He's just really I feel like he doesn't really respect defense too much. He kind of just wants to be a Zulu warrior. Like he warrior maxes, bro. Like I said, I don't know too much about this Kareem Al guy, so I don't want to lie to you guys, but he does average a good amount of takedowns per fight, 2. They both average a couple. It might be a scrap on the feet then, in my opinion. So I feel like they're going to probably scrap on the feet. Bro, it's kind of disappointing how this prelims, I mean, it's a fight night to be fair, but yeah, this one, like I said, I'm not confident in this pick. I gotta be honest, Shaq. If I'm not confident in the pick, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and gaslight you, bro. I'm not confident, man. But I am more confident in Bolaji Oki, the Belgian fighter, the Zulu warrior. So I am gonna go him. Why? How? I don't know. KO or points. That's my best bet. All right, now we're cooking, man. From this point on, chat, every other fight's kind of a banger. Why is it taking so long to load, bro? See, bro, they can't even formulate Shamil Gaziev's body on frame, bro. Figure it out. UFC, figure it out. All right, we're having some technical difficulties. We finally got to render Shamil Gaziev in frame. Look at that physique, bro. Google Chrome was having a hard time. But he's going against Thomas Petersen, who's actually a tough fight for Shamil. I feel like Thomas Petersen's going to come in with his nice little boxing exchanges. Thomas Petersen looked good, especially against Muhammad Usman. Maybe Muhammad Usman not all that, but he did good work against him. He kind of decisively beat him, in my opinion. Shamil's no slouch, though. Shamil, like, unlike Usman, like, I feel like Shamil's actually a good wrestler. Like, Muhammad Usman's not Kamaru. Like, he doesn't really got that wrestling background like him. So, he was kind of, like, not doing shit, but, like, kind of throwing his overhands in one shot at a time. Shamil's more of a workhorse, man. Don't let the physique fool you, dude. He's a workhorse. Look at this guy, brother, Real Dagestani mountain rider, This guy dangerous, Representing Russia, Shamil. I think Shamil, the real deal Gaziev, goes in there and kind of tries to mix it up. I think he mixes it up. I think he keeps on the feet for a little bit. But if Thomas Petersen starts getting that stupid momentum going where he just starts to, like, kind of feel his straight punches a little bit, that's when Shamil Gaziev is going to take him down and kind of ride out the round. Shamil Gaziev, one thing about him, he'll blubber max you, bro. When I say blubber max, I mean he'll put that weight on your body and make you suffocate, bro. Like, he'll literally smother you until you can't, like, and then you turn into a fish out of water. That's what you need to do against Thomas Petersen, because if Shamil's not going to be able to score the takedown, he is going to get pieced up. I'll be real. I like Shamil. I like the hype around him. I like the Shamil hype. I like the Shamil hype. So I want him to go out there and get it, but it'll be tough. Averaging one takedown, but he has a great completion rate, dude. 30%, dude. 30% accuracy for Shamil. So, once he gets you down, it's a problem. It has Petersen at 100% takedown defense. It's crazy, but you know what I'm saying? This ain't no Muhammad Usman takedown attempts, man. This is Shamil Gaziev. This is the overpowering via blubber. So I do think Shamil kind of shown that, like, I know he had gas tank problems initially. He's shown he could lay on people for a distance. Like, he could go the distance while laying on people if he needs to. So I do think he could show that against Thomas Petersen. So I am going to go Shamil over Thomas Petersen. Look at him, minus 380. Let's go, Shamil. Dude, they know, man. They know. So, yeah, I got Shamil via points probably. I don't think he's going to finish Thomas Petersen because Thomas Petersen's kind of tough, but Shamil's probably going to get that win by points, all right? Now, this fight is actually really competitive. We got Khan Ofli, who has great submissions, so it's going to be interesting for Muhammad Naimov, who has the wrestling ability, who has the striking ability, who could kind of do it all. But the thing about Naimov, if he wants to wrestle Ofli on the ground, he has to be wary about the BJJ threat that Ofli has. But I don't think that's going to stop the Dagestani, man. He's going to go in there, he's going to still wrestle, he's going to mix it up, he's going to make it difficult for Ofli. They're both coming off of losses, so it's not like they're riding momentum, but I feel like Naimov just he looks like the more complete fighter in my opinion. He just got to be, like I said, got to be careful for the submission threat, but he does a good job of, like, I feel like he could, like, set his hips well, and he could make Ofli struggle. So yeah, I am going to actually go Naimov for this fight. I think this is the first fight on the main card, right? Yeah, it is. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Naimov. I feel like he's going to just set up the main card with some good point striking into, like, some wrestling entries, and he's gonna make it a long night for Ofli. And I feel like Ofli's still game. He's gonna make it tough. It's not gonna be an easy fight for Naimov, but I do got Muhammad beating Khan Ofli in this one. Now, I wish I could talk about this fight, but Ikram Al-Skurov pulled out as of, I think, not Ikram, his opponent pulled out because of passport issues. Look at you, bro. Look at your neck, bro. How you gonna ruin a great card? This actually, I don't even know this is fight of the year anymore, because I really want to see Ikram Al-Skurov come back and finish his glass jaw rap, bro. Look at him, bro. I hate the way he's standing, but why you standing like that when you just threw away the one of the best fights in the card? He's lucky. Ikram would have put the beats on him like Dr. Dre, what I'm saying? Coming off a loss. Ikram was coming off a loss against Whitaker, but this was his comeback party. And then, of course, Muniz, ruins it. And then they're not going to find a short notice replacement for Ikram. It just got postponed, which gets me more mad, bro. What's with Ikram, man, and these fucking fights falling apart? It's not Ikram's fault, bro. Dude just wants to fight, dude. Dude wants to fight, man. Let him have his fucking Izzy Pereira story where he's Pereira and he's trying to chase Hamzat down once Hamzat wins that belt, brother, I still think Ikram has a future in this company. Don't sleep on him, so disappointing that fight fell apart. A fight that didn't fall apart, that's very competitive, that I'm actually very interested. This main card is such a banger, man. If only Ikram didn't pull out. We got Oliveira and said Nurmagomedov, bro. Oliveira, of course, everyone knows the famous knee knockout. The dude's explosive. He's talented. He's crafty. He's like this is like a new age Brazilians that like kind of come in and they like really flashy and they're entertaining. They're actually good. I feel like Vincius Oliveira is one of them. Said Nurmagomedov is really talented too. Of course, he had that quick finish in his last fight against I think Gafurov, who just had a great performance. Last fight against Nakamura when I called that upset, you know what I'm saying? But Said submitted him like in the first round pretty easily, you know? So Said is a different beast. He's very well-rounded. He reminds me of Zabit Magomedsharipov. Like out of everyone in the UFC, if I had to point to someone who reminds me of Zabit, it's Said. Like he just his striking is pretty dynamic. He has the grappling ability if he needs to. Like I like the way he fights. It's gonna be a scrap with Oliveira, and I know it's gonna be a scrap. And bro, all the body language experts who say like the Dagestanis lose when it's a body language fight, you're probably gonna think at the end of this fight Oliveira won, because I feel like Oliveira can put a pace on him where Said kind of fatigues a little bit. But I do think it Said if he gets like fatigued, he will score takedowns on Oliveira, and Oliveira would be kind of complacent on his back trying to throw up something that would just never land. So I do think it's gonna be a banger, but I do think I'm gonna go Said Nurmagomedov. The odds are minus 198 Said, plus 164. This only is good plus money for Oliveira, but I do think Said's more complete, and I do think Said's gonna get it done. So I got Said Nurmagomedov, brother. Don't get it twisted. He's not related to Usman or Umar. You know, they're not brothers, but you know he's still brother Dagestan, real mountain guy. You know, he smashes people, brother. Not 2-3 years forgets whole life, brother. Be smashing these guys. So be careful. You know, I got Said Nurmagomedov beating Oliveira, but it's not gonna be easy, and it's gonna be a scrap. It's going to be a scrap. I do think people might cry robbery that, Oliveira won because his body language looked better, dude. These body language breakdowners, man. I hate them, dude. Hate them. But yeah, I got Said winning that fight. Okay, this fight is interesting, my friend. Interesting. We got Biggie Boy versus Sergey Pavlovich. Let me say this real quick. Chat, Sergey Pavlovich, though, like, looking back at his Volkov fight, I gave him a hard time. Like, I was saying how he gassed. He just didn't look it. Did he even gas? Not really. He didn't gas, but like he just started throwing one shot at a time. But I'm starting to think Volkov just improved, because like I remember the first time Volkov fought Gon to the recent fight he had against Gon. I thought he beat Gon. You know, Gon got the robbery victory. You know, and looking back at how Sergey performed against Volkov, I realized something. Gon was such a good striker, but he had to mix in wrestling. Like he had to get some wrestling exchanges going, because that's how dominant Volkov was on the feet. So Sergey just didn't really have that inkling to like, all right, maybe I should start wrestling this guy, because all he knows is like, let me go out there and knock this guy out with one punch. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that loss, and I know people judge him harshly. Oh, he lost all his ore, man. He lost to Volkov. How can you lose to Volkov? I think Volkov improved. So that being said, I'm not gonna count him out. Now, Biggie Boy is good, coming off and win as well. Biggie Boy's like he's gonna want to strike with Volkov, Sergey too. He's gonna want to strike with Sergey, which is gonna be a problem for Rozenstruik, I think. Like he's a little bit slower in the striking department. He's already Biggie Boy. He lives up to his name, the Biggie Boy. You know, he's slow. I think Sergey Pavlovich is going to have the boxing advantage and the speed and the power as well. You know, Rozenstruik, you know, he has a habit. When Rozenstruik goes against a power puncher who's explosive, he gets knocked out, kind of, you know. Shout out Ngannou. I'm not saying Sergey's Ngannou, man, but I do think Sergey's going to give him a real hard time, bro. You get me, bro. Like, I think Sergey's going to get his hype back in this fight. Everyone's saying his ore is gone. I think he's going to get a finish. He's going to showboat, and they'll be like, oh, his ore is back, dude. Everyone's going to switch up again. But I do like Biggie Boy. I just don't think he's ready for Sergey Pavlovich. I do think Sergey's going to be a little bit too explosive on the feet. He's going to have too quick of hands. He's going to be too heavy hitting for Rozenstruik, who I think is like, he's good. He could point fight you. Rozenstruik's okay with like light tapping you with low kicks and like just like touching you a little bit. But Sergey's not just going to touch you, pause. He's going to go in there and try to take your head off, you feel me? So yeah, I think I got Sergey Pavlovich for this one. I wonder what the odds. Yeah, the odds aren't even available. I feel like the odds would favor Sergey as well. But yeah, I think Sergey just had Sergey does have that same old background that he never uses as well. You know, he just doesn't grapple. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't think we're ever gonna see him grapple, because I just think he believes in his striking a lot and his power, and I think he should. Like, stick what got you to the dance. But like against a Volkov, if you're going against someone way taller than you, who has like the length advantage and all that, and they're piecing you up, you got to mix it up like Gon did, in my opinion. But he just didn't have the inkling in his head. He has a height advantage by 1 inch in this fight, you know, so he's not gonna be looked down at by some 6'8" marauder. So I do got Sergey Pavlovich beating Rozenstruik. Sorry, Biggie Boy, but Sergey's time to shine, brother. You know, I feel like these main cards, I'm getting all these picks right. The prelims, I feel like I was doing a little sus. Speaking of card, oh my god, this fight, man, this fight. Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. This is a really good fight and a really interesting fight. I feel like with Shara Bullet, everyone's like, oh, the fraud check's incoming, dude. It's gonna come one day, but the fraud check's gonna come to a wrestler. Unironically, the UFC is gonna give Shara a fraud check, I feel like, but it's not through a wrestler. It's through MVP. I've said it before. I think MVP is the best striker in the UFC. I remember when he like performed against Kevin Holland. I was saying it like before he came to the UFC, and I was saying he was going to beat Kevin Holland. People were calling me crazy. It happened. They switched up, and then leading up to the Ian Gary fight, people were like, Ian Gary's going to knock him out. I'm like, knock him out? Ian Gary's going to turn into a wrestler. I said it. It's going to be Ian Nurmagomedov. We watched the fight. Ian was getting pieced up. You get caught, do the chicken dance, and then he starts wrestling. And I'm not surprised. I don't think there's a man alive who could stand and strike with MVP at 170 and at 185 partially. Like, of course, it's Izzy, but him and Izzy are friends who never fight, But, like, Shara, after his last performance, I think the double spinning back fist, he called out Izzy. He's like, I'm the best striker 185. Give me Adesanya. Listen, you asked for it. You said you're the best striker 185. Don't let this 170er smaller man skill, dude. He's going to come up. He's going to outstrike you, dude. So it's going to be one of those. I like Shara, too, so it's going to be interesting. This is my, like, I'm going to probably make a more specific video about this, but this is my take on it. Charlotte's very kick heavy, low kick heavy. Against people, he struggles. What was that dude? What was Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend or something? That tall ass 6'5", Tricoli. When he was fighting Tricoli, he was struggling immensely. I know Tricoli's like 6'5", but MVP's 6'3", he's not too far apart. But Tricoli was just kind of landing straight punches on him because Shara was so invested in the low kick, and that's Shara's problem. His low kick and his like push kick, they're his jabs. People use jab as rangefinders. His rangefinder is his low kick. Now the problem with that low kick, Tricoli was countering it with straight punches over the top. Now MVP, he's so quick. Like, I feel like he's like 30, he's almost 40, man. He's not quick. Something about the karate style, if you can see it in Wonderboy's fights too, it has longevity to it. People are going to look at the Wonderboy versus Buckley fight and realize how good Wonderboy was doing because he was doing great work before the knockout. And Buckley's a beast. Speed stays with you in the karate style. I don't know what it is about karate style, but when you've been doing it your whole life, that point fighting style, it's going to stick with you. MVP is a faster, more powerful version of Wonderboy, in my opinion, right now. That's all he is, with better spinning elbows and just better counterattacks. Shara throwing this low kick and how easy it was to counter him over the top as Tricoli, who's slow and sloppy with his straight punches. MVP is going to come in quickly with that overhand and boom, and then he's going to be out. Shara going to be doing the chicken dance. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be, I think Shara gets finished. I think it's going to be one, or Shara gets, or it goes to decision, MVP wins on, like, clearly to everyone else, and the judges give it to Shara. No, I'm joking. But, like, it's just going to be a hard night for Shara Magomedov, and I feel like that one eye vision that he has is going to affect him so negatively in this fight. Like, it's gonna be horrible for him because, like, you need peripherals if you're going against someone this quick and like this dynamic as MVP. He doesn't have that. Those spinning elbows that were landing on Kevin Holland, they're gonna land so much easier on a Shara bullet. I kind of feel bad for Shara in this sense because his first fraud check is gonna be coming from a striker, not a wrestler. But I am interested to see how the two styles conflict each other and how like they're gonna both perform against each other. So that's what I want to see. But like I said, based on styles, I just have a hard time seeing MVP loses. I don't know okay, MVP's the underdog. Listen, this is the Kenya Koi pick of the night, lock it in. I said Gafurov in the Nakamura fight when he was like a plus 800 was the pick of the night, underdog pick of the night. You trusted me here, you better trust me here too. MVP, he's underdog, put your house on it. It's just going to be a long night for Shara Magomedov. I do think Shara's going to turn into a wrestler. People call me crazy. I want you guys to screen record this. Shara Bullet is going to wrestle MVP. He has 0 takedowns averages, but he's going to wrestle MVP. MVP is going to do his things where he does like that little trip after he gets Shara. He's going to make it uncomfortable for Shara. Shara's going to feel like he has to make up for it, and he's going to start wrestling. Trust me. But MVP is going to win by KO or points 100%. Now, the main event of the evening, man. Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov, bro. I'll be real, chat. I'll be real. This fight isn't the walk in the park people. I see some people making it out to be. Like, it's not going to be a walk in the park for Adesanya. I got to be real. Nassourdine Imavov has the speed advantage significantly. I don't know how significantly, but he has the speed advantage in the hands. He's an aggressive kickboxer. Last time Izzy went against someone who I think had the speed advantage in the hands and was an aggressive kickboxer was Robert Whittaker in the first fight, but Izzy knocked him out. Is Izzy the same Izzy? I don't think Izzy's washed. Do I think he's like, of course, like as you age, you're not going to be as fast as you used to be. So I don't think he's at that speed anymore. But Adesanya still got the sharpness and the timing, in my opinion. However, the first round and maybe even a little bit of the second round is going to be a figuring out process for Izzy. He's going to try to figure out the exchanges with Imavov because Imavov's not afraid to walk you down. Like, he's going to walk you down, and he's going to see what works against you. And he's going to, like, if Izzy gives him too much respect and the power and the speed, it's going to lead to Imavov, like, growing in confidence. It's going to be a long night for Izzy. Izzy needs to get on his low kick. establish that, because that's going to give Imavov problems because he's a guy who stands up really straight. It's going to give him a lot of problems. He's going to get to his push kicks. And when Imavov like tries to sit in the pocket and throw with Izzy needs to trust his counterpunch. He needs to trust his slipping into his hooks. He needs to trust that. I think it's a hard fight for Izzy, though. I can't lie. Like, I'd be a lying person if I said he's going to run through Imavov. I do like this fight stylistically because, of course, it's going to be a primary kickboxing match. Last time Izzy had that was 287 against Pereira. And I guess he had it against Strickland, but Strickland's style is very over. They both lost to Strickland the same way. Strickland, like, beat both of them 4 rounds to 1, you know, with his stupid-ass teep kick and a jab. But, like, yeah. It's different, man. Styles make fights, dude. So this is going to be interesting. Closest person, stylistically, that Izzy ever fought that's close to Imavov is Whitaker, of course. And then vice versa, the closest style Imavov fought that's similar to Izzy, I couldn't tell you. He hasn't really fought someone like Izzy. So this is going to be something really new for Imavov. Of course, Izzy has, like, Whitaker in his training camp. Izzy's locked in. Yeah, I think this fight's going to be interesting. The first round, I think Imavov could steal it. But after that, I see Izzy just finding a groove. One thing about Imavov that is a big concern is his gas tank. Like, in every fight, look at the Brendan Allen fight, look at any fight. He was losing the points on Jared Cannonier. To Jared Cannonier, he was losing up until he got that finish on him. And Cannonier never really, like, went out. He was kind of standing, but he wasn't, like, really punching back, so they stopped the fight. A little bit iffy stoppage, but I did have Imavov winning that fight, so I was happy for him. But he was losing on points to Cannonier, who was just, like, outpointing him, you know. I think if Cannonier can outpoint you, I'm sure Izzy, who's a more dynamic striker than Cannonier, who 50-45 Cannonier, can outpoint you too. It's not going to be an easy one, but especially as the fights go, Imavov is he's gonna keep taking damage and eating punches. He could even get TKO'd in the 4th or something. Honestly, I'm gonna make a more in-depth detail about breakdown about this later on in the week. But I'm gonna say this, guys. What Izzy does well is, like, he almost creates an illusion for his opponents that they have too much respect for him, because when he's throwing the low kicks and piecing you up and you're like, I want to go in, but I don't want to get counter punched and I don't want to get hurt, it leads to them, like, staying on the outside for too long. By the time they want to go in and enter, their leg is already compromised, so it's easy for Izzy to slip and hurt them. And another thing I want to say is that people say Izzy looks slower in the DDP fight. Why he looks slower in the DDP fight is because DDP mixed in wrestling, and DDP was so much heavier than Izzy. So, like, all that weight when he was dragging Izzy down, making Izzy get back up and defend takedowns, it drained Izzy's gas tank, as well as the fact that they both threw some crazy volume. Like, volume-wise, that was one of Izzy's highest fights. I think it was Izzy's highest fight up until the 4th round, excluding the Gaziev fight, because that went to the 5th. But dude, that was Izzy's most output. He was throwing the most punches and he was defending the most takedowns. That's why he looked a little bit slower, or like his hands looked a little bit heavier. You know what I'm saying? Against Imavov is going to be more of a kickboxing match. In kickboxing or point fighting kind of matchups, they don't really use a lot of strikes per minute. You know what I'm saying? But every strike they throw is for, like, they're very technical. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing to land, to score. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what this fight's going to be. It's not going to be really, like, a crazy output. I do think Imavov's going to be more on the front foot initially, but eventually Izzy going to find a shot. He's probably going to hurt Imavov, and he's probably going to get him out there. So my official prediction is Izzy by TKO or points. But I know Izzy's talking about his submission game. Whitaker was talking about, yeah, I'm impressed by Izzy's submission game, this and the third. I'm sure Izzy wants a submission. I just don't think he should force it, man. I think he should stick to what got him to the dance. He shouldn't be trigger shy with his low kick like it was against DDP. That'd be a problem. He needs to establish a low kick against Imavov, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, I do got Adesanya beating Imavov. I do think it's gonna be a close fight. It's gonna be a banger fight. But Israel Adesanya, bro, for the win, and I get to celebrate an Izzy win. It's been so long. You know what's funny, chat? I haven't been a YouTuber for that long, dude. Like maybe like 9 months, but I've never watched an Izzy fight live where he won. You know, I only watched that one Izzy reaction to DDP when DDP got this finish. So that was upsetting. But this time around, we're gonna have a different mentality, chat. We're gonna watch Adesanya get that W, baby. So that's my official predictions, bro. But let me tell you a parlay that all you guys should follow, bro. A parlay that you all should do. Ooh, so I don't even want to touch this fight. You guys should go Shamil, Naimov, said Nurmagomedov, Sergey Pavlovich, MVP, and Israel Adesanya. I think that's almost damn near a guaranteed hit. But yeah, that's the parlay of the day, bro. Parlay of the night. But let me know what you guys think about this fight night, bro. Adesanya coming for the win, and brother, this fight week, bro, it's all about Adesanya, brother. Dale. That's it for me. Hope you have a good one, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.